Yo, what's good with you guys? I think it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I just got up out the gym. Boy's feeling good. I just want to just come bring you guys this quick video. Man, it's handheld, you know what I'm saying? Old school style, ghetto style, but hey, man, we get into it. I wanted to just share this message while it's fresh on my consciousness because I know the second I hit the road, this shit's gonna be gone. You guys know how ether works. You guys know how consciousness works. The second the information comes through the ether, if you don't project it, as in speak it or invoke it, a lot of times it's gonna go right past you because we're all picking up on this energy. But I want to share this very specific message. Be very mindful. And what I would say is, do not share the good news within your life to miserable people. I.e., be very careful sharing the goodness and the good things happening in your life to miserable people. Let me break something down to you that happened to me, but let me first break down the mechanics of why this is true and why this is real. Don't fall into this trap. As an individual who's accumulated wealth and as an individual who's traveled the world solo to some of the most beautiful places, I've realized that a lot of individuals, number one, do not like to see certain individuals living out their life in a way in which they perceive as better than them when you may not say it. A lot of times in life, I've come to the realization that when you choose happiness, meaning it doesn't even have to be happiness, when you choose to just be level-headed and you don't invoke a spirit of negativity, you don't invoke a spirit of sadness, it bothers people. And then when good things begin to happen in your life, they take it upon themselves to project their train wreck of a life to you to counteract that. Because you and I both know everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, according to Nikola Tesla, and that's a massive universal law. We are merely consciousness sharing this human experience. So with that being said, something that I've come to the realization of is that when I would get good news, you know what I'm saying? Something great happening in my life, whether it's me traveling, whether it's me making a certain amount of income, whether it's me just being in shape, you know, like things will naturally come up in conversations where people are like, oh, you don't eat meat? And I'm like, no, I've been plant-based 9 years. And they'll be like, good for you. But I can hear the hatred and the condescending atmosphere behind it. And a lot of times what's happening is that they want to actually dim your light. And as they dim your light, there's entities attached to the aura field. If your third eye is not open, you'll feel it. But if your third eye is opened, a lot of times you can see it. But a third eye being open, most of the time it's a feeling first, and then you see it. You see it in their eyes, and you can actually see these entities on their auric field. There's nothing to be afraid of. You already have these capabilities inside of you. They are either just dormant or they've been shut down through religion and indoctrination. So basically what happens is that when you enter into a place, when you walk through a portal, because when you walk into a building or a room or any place, you're i.e. going through a portal. So when you walk into an atmosphere and you're smiling, you feel good. I'm not saying like don't face up, but like you just naturally feel good. You're naturally just level-headed. And you start talking about great things happening in your life, and then they throw like a slick comment, or they just start talking about like crazy bad stuff happening in the world. And then you leave drained, you leave sad. They're feeding off of your light. They're feeding off of your essence. So what's helped me is that once I identify a person who's like that, I do this thing that's called the gray rocking, where even when they bring up stuff, I just don't really say anything, because it's not my job to micromanage grown-ass adults as to why they're so miserable. But with that being said, I want you to realize, don't wait for certain things in your life to feel fulfilled. The only life that's true is the one in which you see within your soul and you project out into this atmosphere. i.e., everything in which you interpret and everything in which you engage with within this life, it's merely a projection from your soul, and then it's pushed out. That's why they say, you know, don't chase love, feel loved. Don't chase wealth, be the wealth. Don't chase strength, be the strength. I.e., when you embody the frequency of love, peace, prosperity, goodwill, that is like a magnet, and it attracts the reality to you. So with that being said, I'm saying that to say, be very mindful that when you start embodying your authenticity and when you start embodying your true essence, you're going to be very vicarious and very aware of that. The vast majority of people are miserable, and they don't do the inner work. They don't do the shadow work. Shadow work is not about getting candles and sitting in a circle and performing seances. Shadow work is looking at your shadow and realizing like, hey, like these are certain things that I'm pushing away, and I'm not either one integrating with and accepting and choosing to see better, or I'm just, like I said, you project it to people. Hey man, I just got a raise. Must be nice. Must be this. And then like now you're like, dang, what the heck? Like, okay. And then let's say you work with that person. Now they're gonna want to try to sabotage you. Be careful. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I find success within my reality where it's like a game for me. I test people. I'm kind of weird. So like, I will talk about good things, and then I pay attention to how a person responds. And then from there, I know exactly, and I can pinpoint the type of frequency you dwell in. And then I'm like, hey, you know what? You're a very miserable person. You're an extremely miserable person. And it's not my job to fix that. My dad would always tell me, if somebody comes, mind you, he's speaking metaphorically. If somebody comes to your doorstep and puts trash and garbage there, would you pick it up? No, you tell them, take it away. Miserable people embody that same type of aesthetic. Aesthetics as a right word, but you get what I'm saying. So I would encourage you, and if you found this message is for you. Everything happens for a reason, and everything is here for you to interpret. Take what resonates, discard what doesn't. But I would encourage you to be very mindful and to refrain from sharing the goodness within your life to certain people. And I'm not talking about the good news, no Bible stuff. No, I'm saying just like great things happening in your life. Because a lot of times that person wants to steer your light and wants to keep you in a frequency and in a space and in a place of just misery, decay, shame. And I'm not saying these things within this 3D reality don't exist, but it's like in life, you have to make a conscious decision every day to choose the frequency you want to be in. Because, hey, try this. Why don't you wake up, watch the news, eat the most crappy food, just drink just soda every day, and talk about all the bad things in life and see how you feel? You're not going to feel good. So as a conscious adult, right? Get it? You're an adult now. So mentally you should be developing. You have the capability to choose what frequency you want to be in. I'm not saying if something happens, you just ignore it. If something happens, receive it, analyze it, and deal with it maturely. So I'm saying this to say, be very mindful of those things and take the conscious effort to do the inner work. And inner work is not about being within the confines of trying to prove your worth to other people. Like, look, I'm doing this, look, I'm doing that. No, like, I do a thing where before I go to sleep, and I'm getting better at this, I do like a day review. How was my day? And it's not about I made this much online, or I did this, or I did that. It's more like, how was my energy? How did I respond to myself? Was I conscious of myself? Something that I make a conscious effort to do is that I'll say this phrase to myself, and you can repeat after me. I'm aware. I'm present. I'm aware. I'm present. I'm aware. I'm present. When you speak to yourself in that way, you can just say it, just quick 30 seconds. You start to pause within your day and be very mindful, and you catch like, whoa, like that's not me. In essence of when you catch yourself falling into that misery loop. Because look, think about it, right? something great happened in your day, and then you share it with the miserable person, and now that loop is coming in. Oh, we need to siphon some energy. Nah, man. But like I said, this isn't about kiki kaka like all life. It's about being mindful. You always have a conscious decision to pick the frequency in which you inhabit, especially as an adult. So be mindful of that. But I hope that made sense. It's been your boy from Bay. Man, it feels good, man. Summertime. Like I said, I'm gonna be a lot more consistent, just with more just raw stuff. But you guys take care. I'm out here.